This is
Part 5.
about the 4th time we're doing part 5. We just finished part 5, and what we notice is, okay, Mario Tuszco gets right on our YouTube account. He crosses out part 5, dismiss. Susan and Joseph Tropeano cry for help. He took photos of it. It's so surreal. So here we are back again. We made this video about 3 times already. But due to the cyber crimes committed in our building, we cannot move forward because they don't want to be exposed. That's why we have cyber crimes. Anyway, what I wanted to say is Mario Tuszco cuts and pastes the entire YouTube site. What I mean by that is he takes the save buttons, the cancel buttons, the setting buttons, the what is it called? Thumbnail buttons, every button on YouTube, and he cuts and pastes it. He puts it on top of the title, okay, and that way our text disappears, the category disappears, and the tag words. So if it's not our video disappearing, it's our text disappearing. It's not the text, or it's both. It's just like the medical corruption, okay? If you get one thing, you don't get the other. So you can never get to point 1 in anything. Also, I want to talk about the United Federation of Teachers. From part 4, I was explaining. We're going to end this before the 15 minutes and 30 seconds trying to beat Mario to the punchline, although he's probably listening to us for all we know, so we can record this video. Anyway, to make a long story short, okay, every teacher gets a pension consultation with the United Federation of Teachers before they retire. The teacher brings all of her, documents of all her finances, of TRS, her service credit, etc., etc. She sits with a pension consultant of the United Federation of Teachers, and goes over everything with family members because it's your money. And that's how you get a pension consultation. You know what you're going to get. The UFT outrageously denies me a pension consultation. Leroy Barr at the UFT will not allow me to get a pension consultation. Every time I ask for a pension consultation, they transfer me to Leroy Barr, who's the director of the UFT. You speak to this man, it's like speaking to your worst vile enemy alive. It's like talking to a wall, and he violates you every which way. He tried to sue me with his attorney because I told him that he has to stop controlling at my pension. And I'm a human being. I cursed him out. Yeah, I told him racial slurs because he's controlling my pension and will not let me get a pension consultation. And anything that my husband and I say to him, he doesn't listen. He doesn't look at the evidence. Nothing. So what do?
He frustrates you to no end.
So finally I had to curse him out.
We just blew up is because we are human beings, and we know that you're not supposed to do that, but
no,
trauma
that's not,
and terror that he put us through.
No, you can't do that. So
yeah, but
he gets himself. So he tries to intimidate us by getting this hotshot attorney in New York. And I told the attorney off. I said, "What would you do if someone was controlling your pension? Would you, finally curse him out and tell him racial slurs?"
Yes.
After that, the attorney disappeared. Okay? I mean, of course you're going to curse somebody out. What they really want us to do is hit someone. That way, they have an excuse to get us in jail or put us in a mental institution.
This is what they're awaiting. All this corrupted people that we are entrapped in, they are waiting for this event, and they'll never get that satisfaction.
Mario Tuszco is right downstairs in his apartment. He's waiting for us to curse him out, to hit him.
Oh, because he keeps on throwing daggers and daggers.
He's
at
committing
us.
cyber crimes every minute on YouTube. He doesn't let our videos go forward. He crosses out everything, does cut and paste. I mean, how much can you take? How much can you take? It's like catch me if you can, like a serial killer. Okay? And that's what Phyllis Leinwand does. Catch me if you can. They feel so protected by this cult and the police, they feel like they're never going to be exposed. All right, Joe.
Yeah, I'm going to continue now. We are talking, we are in a conversation about this pension. And we went to see David Hickey, the manager of the United States Federation of Teachers, in the building. Well, actually, see, I am so traumatized by this. We didn't go see him. We wanted to go see
We're exhausted.
Mr. Mulgrew. He's the president of the UFT. What I'm really trying to say is that the manager of the UFT, let me stand corrected here, the manager of the UFT barred us from entering the UFT building because we wanted to go speak to the president of the UFT, which is Mr. Mulgrew. Okay, since we
Not only that,
cannot,
I wanted to get a pension consultation, but I can't.
since we could not see him, the following day we call up to the office. His secretary, Miriam, states he cannot help us.
This is a huge conspiracy.
Yes.
Wherever we
Okay.
go, we can't get help. This is our possessions, and they cannot help us. They can only control and keep our possessions. That's how they help us.
So, anyway, due to the abandonment and abuse and mockery of all these agencies, including the UFT, just like I've just told you, every responsible party who was supposed to release us from the chains of lethal corruption just abandons us. And my wife's and because of all this, my wife's pension stays a status quo. They keep it, they take custody of it, and they racketeer with it.
And they're using my monies.
So this makes it so totally impossible for my wife to retire. And
You
for
know,
us to live comfortably like any other American citizen
and the mental torture that it's doing to you
has to live.
can literally cause you a heart attack. And then you have cyber crimes, murders, blackmail in the family. Phyllis Leinwand blackmailed my sister and Doug and Brian Jacobson, who is their son, who's my nephew, because he has a celebrity party planning company. He was pronounced dead, but he's alive. Okay, my sister made money deals. Phyllis Leinwand found out about it. She blackmailed my sister and Doug. And because of this, we're getting the brunt of the blackmail committed by Phyllis Leinwand. Okay? It's connected with the family. This is how this whole lethal corruption began, with relationships in the family. My daughter married a cult member named Joshua Kurtz. We will explain all this in detail. Okay? And my mother and my father and my daughter, who love me to death, all three of them, don't anymore. My mother died hating me due to Phyllis Leinwand, who made sure once she used my mother for what she needed her for, which was to destroy me and torture me, she put my mother in her grave. And my mother died from the repercussions of barbarously being brainwashed. Her intestines, her food tubes, her intestines and esophagus were destroyed. Okay? Due to the brainwash that Phyllis Leinwand and a lethal cult performed on my mother. And my mother never got the proper medical attention, just like I can't, just like Joe can't if he would need medical attention. Because the whole idea behind this lethal cult and Phyllis Leinwand is to destroy our once close-knit American family and to get us all in our graves. Shame on Phyllis Leinwand and this lethal cult. And we will not relent until you're put behind bars where you belong.
Yes, Phyllis. Your goal is to destroy us. Our goal is not to relent and to get you where you belong so we can have our life back and all our rights restored to us. This is our message. How dare you? How dare you? How would you like somebody to take your pension away? How would you like somebody to tell you, can I see a doctor or pharmacist? Can I go to a hospital? Can I have your services? How would you allow somebody to do this to you? Of course, you would get it resolved.
Right away.
Right away. But you,
blacklisted us,
being such a psychopath, have done this and still doing it because you think you can never be caught.
Like a serial killer.
Well,
catch me if you can.
Let me tell you one thing here. You love to ruin this family, and you have ruined this family. How dare you to do this? But remember, what goes around comes around. And you'll be taking care of it the legal way. Let me continue now. My wife's pensions, earnings, and medical benefits, which covers me as well, is in the custody and control of the corrupted sources who control and monitor every aspect, possession, and financials that are ours only. Due to this horrific, very dangerous Nazi regime we are entrapped in. I had to give up my career and therefore cannot make a living, as we are coerced to survive in a world filled with endless fear, severe danger, trauma, and terror due to all the laws stripped from our lives, and thus everything we own or pay for is controlled and monitored by the powerful thugs who are connected to Phyllis Leinwand, which will become self-evident as this tragic narrative will reveal. As a result of all this horrific predicament of taking away everything that belongs to my wife and me, we will become destitute and homeless in the very near future. We are crying for help to the people of this world. We are crying for help to all the citizens of this world. Thank you. Let me continue.
Well, Joe, we're going to end this at 14 minutes.
Yes.
So that Mario Tuszco hopefully doesn't stop our video.
To understand this case in a nutshell is all about abandonment. My wife and I are reminiscing about all the securities we had that we both worked so hard for, and how the securities were abruptly taken away from us. First, by Phyllis Leinwand, followed by the attorneys who robbed us of all our savings. And they threaten us to place huge fraudulent liens upon us, while my wife and I are stripped of everything. Followed by the United Federation of Teachers, the New York City Teachers Retirement System, and the New York City Comptroller's Office abandoning us.
Shame on the judicial system.
This pattern of abandonment continues into our personal lives for 8 long years. Thank you for listening.
We will continue part 6. Hopefully we can get this very video moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.